Hello, welcome to Papa Nick's Music. I am, as always, your host, Papa Nick Lewis, and today we are talking about one of my favorite bands, Fountains of Wayne. I really like Fountains of Wayne, largely because I like good, up-tempo, hooky pop music, right? Power pop. I'm a big fan of power pop music. I love guitar-driven melodies that are catchy, that have nice hooks in them, guitar riffs, all of this fun stuff, vocal harmonies, emphasizing the choruses, all that stuff that you think of when you think of power pop. And when you take that musicality and marry it to really witty lyrics, intelligent lyrics, oh man, I am a fan. And that is Fountains of Wayne. So, we are going to very quickly rank the albums of Fountains of Wayne. It's going to be very quick because they didn't record that many. Before we get into that, though, the subjectivity notice, because of course, all artistic appreciation is inherently subjective. There's no such thing as objectively good or objectively bad art. There is only art that I like and art that I do not like. There will be decisions I make here that you disagree with, and that's fine. That's always a fun conversation to have. It's a very instructive conversation to have. As long as neither one of us in the conversation is laboring under the misapprehension that one of us must be right and the other one must be wrong. There's no such thing as right and wrong when it comes to artistic appreciation. There's only art that you like and art that you do not. If I like something that you do not, that does not mean that I am right and you are wrong, or you are right and I am wrong. It just means we have different taste. And as long as we keep that in mind, it's a fun conversation. We also want to go over the ground rules when we rank albums here at Papa Nick's Music. We rank original albums. We don't do compilations, reimaginings, remixes, stuff like that. They have to be studio albums. We don't do live recordings. They have to be albums, LPs. We don't do EPs. I don't have a hard and fast rule here, but you got to think, on average, it's got to be better than 30 minutes. And then finally, we don't do things that are don't have as their primary purpose being albums. Movie soundtracks, Christmas albums, stuff like that. They have a reason for existing beyond being a collection of songs, and so we don't count that stuff. Which means when it comes to Fountains of Wayne, there's one major issue that we can't talk about that you really should have if you are completing your collection, or if you are diving into Fountains of Wayne, then you really need to get a copy of Out-of-State Plates. But we can't talk about Out-of-State Plates here because it's technically a compilation. Now, it's not a compilation of greatest hits, it's a compilation of unreleased stuff. But it wasn't recorded to be released as an album. It's just odds and ends from their career up to that point. There's some wonderful songs on here. The two songs, I believe these were the only songs that were actually recorded for this release. Maureen and The Girl I Can't Forget are both fantastic. We also have I'll Do the Driving, which is hilarious. Kid Gloves, which is a wonderful song. I Know You Will, wonderful song. There's a lot of really good stuff on here, but doesn't count as an album because it's a compilation. So we're not counting it today. Which means once you get rid of Out-of-State Plates, we have 5 albums to rank. If you've watched any of my ranking videos before, you know that when I'm thinking about it, when I listen to albums and I'm thinking about relative quality, I think in terms of grades. C is average, normal, typical, everyday. D is strongly recommend that you stay away from it. B is strongly recommend that you get it. F is, oh, for the love of God, stay away from this thing. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Do not, oh, no, do not spend your money on that thing. Whereas A is, if you don't have a copy of this, then, okay, we just have to, agree to disagree on what makes quality music, right? A albums are the albums that when I discover that you have a copy of them, my respect for your taste just, leaps elegantly. A albums are the best albums. It's the top tier, very strongly recommended. And out of these 5 albums, I've got one album that is not an A. And that is their last album, 2011's Sky Full of Holes. Sky Full of Holes isn't a bad album, but it's not a particularly good one. I would give it a good solid C, C plus maybe. There are a couple of songs on here that I really like. I really like Richie and Rubin, and I really like Action Hero. And the rest of it is okay. I can listen to it, but it doesn't grab my attention. It doesn't live in my heart the way the other albums do. That being said, I'm never going to lose this copy. But yeah, number 5. Okay, from here on out, we are in solid A territory. I've got one A album here, one straight up A, and that is 1999's Utopia Parkway. Let me get this to where it doesn't get much of a glare. There we go. Utopia Parkway. Again, this is not a bad album. I mean, I'm giving it an A, so obviously it's a good one. It's just the songs on this album are good, not as good as the other 3, as the coming 3 albums, right? Denise is really good. Red Dragon Tattoo is fun. Go Hippie is kind of fun. Utopia Parkway, the title track, is kind of fun. For me, hands down, the winner on the album is the song Hat and Feet. This gets an A because I really, really like Hat and Feet. Whereas if I had liked Richie and Rubin or Action Hero that much, this would now be a B album. Even if not getting rid of, or not making any changes to the rest of the album, just on the strength of those 2 songs, it would go up. Yeah, that's the kind of affection I have for Hat and Feet. It's a wonderful song. I very strongly recommend Utopia Parkway. It's consistently good. It's just it doesn't have the high points that just really leap out and catch my attention. Which now leaves me with 3 albums. All 3 of these albums are good solid A+ albums. I would argue, for those of you who are watching my Perfect Album series, all 3 of these are perfect albums. In order for an album to be perfect in my lexicon, that means there are no skippers. There are skippers on both of these albums I've shown you so far. No skippers on these last 3. It has to be, as you listen to it, you can't think of anything that could be done that would make it better, right? It has to be contained, right? It has to be superlative. It stands above its competition. It's not just technically proficient, but there's some quality to it that you think elevates it. And then fourthly, you have to be uncomfortable listening to the album in bits and pieces. You want to experience it as a whole because it exists in your mind, your heart, your soul as a whole. And it's that last one that's the real reason why Utopia Parkway, I don't think of it as a perfect album. I'm happy to listen to a couple of songs here and there. I don't feel like I have to listen to the whole thing when I pop it in, right? Fountains of Wayne has 3 perfect albums. Perfect album number 1, which is, or the first of them that I'm going to talk about, which is actually the 3rd album on my ranking, is 2003's Welcome Interstate Managers. Welcome Interstate Managers is, of all of these, the album that you're most likely to be familiar with because this is the one that's got Stacy's Mom on it. Stacy's Mom is a wonderful song, but it is scratching the surface of the joy that is this record. This is, like I said, perfect. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. Mexican Wine is great. Bright Future in Sales. Oh my God, do I love that song. Stacy's Mom is good. Hackensack is good. I'm going to skip down because I'm just reading the whole thing, right? Bought for a Song is good. Yours and Mine is good. All Kinds of Time. I mean, this is a perfect album. And it's the 3rd best album that they did. Oh, my God. Coming in at number 2 on my list, my 2nd perfect album, 1996's self-titled Fountains of Wayne. Light show. Ooh, I should have put the graphic up that says, ooh, be warned, there's photosensitive stuff in here. Their debut album is a pretty spiffy album. Radiation Vibe is a fantastic song. Sink to the Bottom is fantastic. She's Got a Problem. Sick Day. I've Got a Flare. Leave the Biker. Oh my God, do I love Leave the Biker. This is a beautiful, beautiful album. The fact that it's their debut is it harkens back to the 70s, when it seems that every group, when they put out their first album, put out the album that they couldn't possibly top, and followed it up with a sophomore effort that was decent but didn't top it. And so you think, okay, that's going to be it from that band. Fountains of Wayne, excellent album. But the best album, the number one album out of the 5, and the third perfect album that we're talking about today, an album that I have already featured on my Perfect Album series, is 2007's Traffic and Weather. I love this album. Someone to Love is the song. Someone to Love and Traffic and Weather were both released as singles off of this. This Better Be Good is a great song. Strapped for Cash is great. I-95. Oh, I love I-95. Michael and Heather at the Baggage Claim. I mean, there's not a bad song on the bunch. There's no skipper. It's a perfect album. I love Fountains of Wayne. You can pick any of these albums and put it on, and I'm going to be in heaven. Even Sky Full of Holes is still, I'm giving it a C here because in the context of the other albums it deserves a C. If I put it in context of everything else that was released in 2011 that I'm familiar with, it's going to shoot to the top of the list. I love Fountains of Wayne, and it breaks my heart that we're not going to get any more Fountains of Wayne releases unless there is other stuff that they haven't released. And I don't think there is, since that's kind of what Out of State Plates did. But anyway, that is my ranking for today. If you enjoyed this, and by the way, thank you for sticking it out this long. I appreciate it when somebody is, this far into the video. If you enjoyed this, then go ahead and click the like button. That would be awfully nice of you. If you would like to see similar discussions in the future, go ahead and click the subscription button. And if you subscribe, go ahead and click the notification icon, because you're going to want to be notified, blah, blah, blah. And again, thank you for watching the video today, and I hope that the rest of your day is gratifying. See you soon.